Hey y'all, I just thought I'd show y'all some of what I'm doing today in my kitchen. Now, one of the things I love to do is make stuff in a pot soup. Now, for me, it's a vegetable soup. I don't like to put meat in it. My husband will probably put um, some kofta meatballs. I mixed up some kofta um, and froze up just the last of it that I didn't use into little meatballs, and so he'll probably fry those up and put it in the soup because he likes that. But for me, it's just a veggie soup. I am using some chicken stock that I made. About every 2 weeks, I roast a chicken in the oven, and I make a beautiful rich stock out of that. I think the video's up here. If not, let me get that posted too. And so I had about half a gallon of that was in the freezer that needed to get used. So it's thawing in my big pot along here. Let me show you. Thawing in my big pot down here along with a block of tomato puree from tomatoes that I roasted and then just whizzed up. They are delicious, and that's the last bag I have. Oh no. But anyway, and then in here is also a giant can of crushed tomatoes and one bottle of this. It's basically low sodium V8. You can use any kind of vegetable blend you like. If you like clamato or whatever, use that. It doesn't really matter. And then I've got some black beans, some kidney beans, some hominy, and then y'all, it's freezer day. I had to clean out my freezer. It is a huge mess. So here's I cleaned up my freezer. I've got a bunch of vegetables in here that are kind of falling out. So I found like this is carrots, parsnips, beets, and sweet potato. That'll be delicious in there. There's some corn and peas and, oh my gosh, what else is down here? I'm going to fry up some of this extra yellow squash. I'm going to put some yellow squash in the soup. And then fry the rest up with some onions since I got to cut up onions. I've got some garbanzo beans. See, will last this big old bag. And I just need to use this stuff up. And then down here, I went through and I got a bunch of mushrooms. And so I've got some balsamic mushroom and onions I found. And then under that, down here somewhere, there's, look, bell peppers. There's a mix of mushrooms, onions, and garlic, and I'm going to use that. And then when I get a good deal on spinach, baby spinach, I just throw the whole thing in the freezer. I'm going to go throw this in the pot right now and let it just cook down. I don't really like spinach, but by the time you let it cook and cook and cook, you know, by lunchtime, this is going to be delicious in here. So I'm just going to let it start to thaw, and I'm going to basically crush it up while it's still frozen and kind of crispy. It'll kind of break up a little bit, and I'm going to put all of this in that pot and let it cook. Yum, it's going to be delicious. Even though I don't like spinach, this is a great way to get veggies, a great way to get extra veggies in. Use what you've got. Whatever's in your pantry that's extra, whatever's in your freezer that's extra, throw in your leftovers. If you have leftover spaghetti sauce, works great for this kind of soup. And then you season it however you like. I've done a very spicy Cajun version. I've done like a more Mexican version. I've done a real traditional like sage and thyme and rosemary. All delicious. It just depends on what you have, what kind of herbs and seasonings you like. I do have some thyme that I cut out of the garden that has been drying on my table for a few days. I'm going to throw some of that in there because yum, fresh thyme. And then just whatever herbs and seasonings I can find. I've got some parsley in the fridge that I need to chop up, and I can throw that in there. Just all kinds of stuff. Use what you have in your fridge, freezer, and your pantry. All right, as this cooks, simmer away right now and thaw out everything, and you can see it's starting to bubble and get going. And over here, I've got my starter for today. We're gonna make some bread. Ooh, look at that, bubbles! All right, y'all. Beautiful, beautiful day, and thanks for being with me in my kitchen. season. Okay, y'all, you ready? Look at this. Now, I just got all the seasonings and everything in here, and it's salt. But I found some basil pesto in the fridge. Ta-da! That was my flavor inspiration. So there's lots of oregano, thyme, basil, rosemary, a little pinch of sage, black pepper. I added a bunch of onion, a bunch of garlic, and a big chunk of parsley that I chopped all up. I mean, just look at that. Tell me that it's not beautiful. It just needs to cook down and kind of get rich and flavorful. And we'll salt it when it's done so that we have a real good idea of how much salt it's going to need. Yum. Okay, y'all. Time for a taste test. Just want to see how the seasoning is. It's started to just bubble a little bit. So it's getting warm. Y'all. All that needs is a little salt and some Parmesan cheese on top and a nice piece of sourdough bread. Yum. Oh, yeah. No. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. It's just delicious. I added some bay leaves. I added some tomato bouillon that I made myself. I roasted some tomatoes and then I dehydrated the skins and powdered them. And I added just a couple tablespoons probably of chicken bouillon. And it's not even, it doesn't need hardly any salt after the chicken bouillon. Y'all, you gotta make you some soup. I know it's summer and it's hotter than hell outside, but look, you put this in your freezer and you're gonna have soup for the next few months. Give a friend in need some soup. Somebody who's had surgery, somebody who's not feeling good. Everybody appreciates some good homemade soup. Y'all have a great day.